Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Jump and Change. Today, our guest is Jimmy Gray from the St. Cloud State men's hockey team. Jimmy, how are you doing today?
Doing good.
We're so excited to have you on. Jimmy is one of our very good friends here at school. We hang out all the time with him. So we're so excited to have him on today. So let's take you back. So you're from Toronto, Ontario. How did you first get involved in hockey?
Honestly, kind of got myself into the game. My parents weren't. My dad's from South Africa, so my parents weren't into hockey, and we had an outdoor rink down the street from my house, and I just kind of found a love for the game, going out there and skating around. And then my parents could see I loved it, so they got me into it, and then just kind of took it from there.
Were you always a goalie?
My first year, just playing like sign up house league. I played player. You kind of cycle through any position,
Yeah.
but I think playing ball hockey and stuff in the summer, I just had this knack for wanting to play goalie. So one time the goalie was gone, I was the first kid to raise the hand to play, and I think my first game we tied like 9-9. But I absolutely
Horrible.
loved it.
Horrible.
I had
I
an absolute blast. So ever since I didn't want to play anything but goalie.
Were your parents like iffy about you playing goalie?
No,
they
super
didn't care?
supportive.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
as soon as I kind of showed an interest for it and started playing consistently, like my dad took me to the store and I got my first set of pads, and then from there on it was just ran with it.
That's crazy. I feel like that's never the case. I feel like everyone's goalie parents never want them to play goalie.
Like, please don't be goalie.
Yeah, exactly. What did you like about it so much? Just more fun or what?
I just think it's like, well, you would know being the last line of defense. Like, you just want to, like, making a big difference, making big saves. It's just, I don't know, something
The
about
responsibility.
it. Yeah, I feel like you have more control of the game. Like, the game depends on your shoulders. So it's just something fun, exciting about that.
You also played lacrosse. Is that the only other sport you played?
Well, I played a lot of sports growing up, like kind of everything I could at elementary school or whatever. But once like middle school and high school came along, hockey and lacrosse were my two serious sports. Yeah.
Were you goalie in lacrosse too?
No, absolutely not.
That seems brutal.
Yeah, you gotta be pretty crazy to be a field lacrosse goalie because you're wearing practically no equipment and you're just getting
Yeah,
the
and
ball's
they
just
rip the
whipped
ball.
at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like my goalies on my team would always have huge welts, like arms, legs, just. It's like looks like fun, but not when you get hit.
No. And
That's usually what Jojo has after I shoot on her too.
yeah, I just get beat up by Avery shots. I try to not stop them at this point. Just get out the way.
Yeah.
Anyways, so so then after that, how did you start narrowing down hockey and start thinking about it seriously, going into like college and stuff?
Well, I always, like growing up, I always wanted to play college hockey. And then there was a time period in probably grade 8 through grade 9 where I was like kind of torn between whether I wanted to choose lacrosse or hocky. I think I had a lot of people tell me that I probably would have a better chance to go play college lacrosse and play college hockey.
Interesting.
And so there was probably a year time period where I was leaning more towards lacrosse. But I think in my midget year, so U18, they call it midget in Canada, we went all the way to the national tournament. So that took our season pretty much right until May. And so I ended up missing so much of the spring season of lacrosse that coaches weren't very happy. And I just wanted to put everything into hockey because, I mean, it was like the national tournament, like it's a huge deal. And I didn't want to risk getting hurt and stuff in practice and games and trips and stuff. So I think that kind of killed my love for the game a little bit. And then I think hockey started to kind of ramp up at that point too. And I just couldn't, I just thought that was my path.
That was your calling.
Yeah.
Were you getting recruited for like lacrosse too?
Well, right when I started playing like kind of like higher level lacrosse traveling, they changed the rule from being allowed to commit at kind of any age to you have to be a junior in high school.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any recruiting. Obviously, there'd be scouts watching games and stuff. So I never talked to schools really before that because I pretty much stopped playing lacrosse like competitively at my junior year of high school.
Sense.
Did you play? You played juniors in Canada?
I did, yeah.
For how many years?
3 years, kind of minus one. The COVID year, we didn't play any games, but I was there for 3 years.
Did you play your senior year of high school? You played juniors?
Yeah, so I actually graduated high school a year early. So I was able to kind of go play juniors, not have to worry about high school, which was nice.
How far away was that team from your home?
Really close, only like 30 minutes. So I lived at home throughout my whole junior career.
You played at that same team?
I did.
Okay.
Was it hard leaving high school though? I feel like you get to like there's a lot of stuff that happens senior year that it's fun to be a part of. I don't know.
Well, I still got my senior year. I was just kind of with the older age group of guys. Like I was with the 01 birth years, and I was with them all throughout high school. So it was sort of like I still got my senior year. It was just
Different
all
one.
the kids my age were in the year behind. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Did you get to go to prom
I did get to go to prom.
your senior year?
Yeah.
Were you prom king?
I was not prom king. I don't know if that's a real thing. I think that's like a fictional Hollywood thing.
Nope.
No,
but
that's a thing.
That's a
really maybe
Avery
not in
was
Canada.
prom king.
Ask the queens. Like,
You have a sister, correct?
Yeah, she's 7 years older than me, so she lives like an hour east of Toronto.
Does she play hockey?
No, she played volleyball and soccer growing up, and she was big in horseback riding, like eventing
Okay.
they call it.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
yeah, very different kind of landscape than me, but yeah, she still has a horse that she rides, not competitively anymore, but to this day, yeah.
Would you say your family like grew up super competitive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom's very competitive. I'd say my dad's very competitive too, but I think I definitely get the competitive edge from my mom.
did she play sports?
She did when she was younger. Yeah,
And your dad played rugby,
my
right?
dad played rugby in South Africa, and he did track, sort of just and cricket, like whatever they played in South Africa was so very different, obviously, but yeah.
So then would you say like your mom was harder on you, like in terms of sports?
Yeah. I mean, if there was one parent that was going to tell me I had a bad game, it would probably be my mom. Yeah.
The rides home.
Yeah.
So when did you start looking at colleges? When did you start getting recruited for hockey?
The first time I talked to a Division I school was actually the night after we won the national tournament in my midget year. So I think I would have been just before I turned 17.
Is this the game that's on YouTube?
Yeah, Telus Cup.
Yeah, we did some research. We did look at all of his highlights. You guys should
Including
check them
lacrosse
out.
highlights.
Really good lacrosse player. Really good.
No, I like the saves highlights from
That game.
yeah. Yeah.
That's the game. Yeah, you guys should check it out. James Gray on YouTube.
Google.
Anyways, so when did you start talking to St. Cloud?
St. Cloud was actually one of the last schools that I talked to. It was pretty much a week or two before playoffs started, my last year junior, so when I was 19.
Okay.
And I think, my advisor had reached out and said there might be an interest. And I was uncommitted, obviously, at the time. So I was just focused on playoffs. And so they came to watch me in the first round of playoffs. And unfortunately, I kind of blew my knee out in the first game of the second round. So that ended the season. But right after the season ended, I came down here and had my visit and I just fell in love with it when I got here.
Okay, so then you were talking to other schools, but when St. Cloud reached out, you were like,
You want to
that's
come
where I
here?
want to go.
Yeah, I think, just being in this conference, like this caliber of play, was definitely, it's hard to say no. It's like the history of the program sort of speaks for itself. So it was kind of a no-brainer when I got that opportunity.
And you redshirted your freshman year here, which was last year.
I did.
Did you know when you committed that you were going to be redshirting?
I didn't know for sure I'd redshirt. I knew we had two older goalies with a lot of experience that were going to be given that opportunity. I only knew I was officially redshirting around Christmas time, when there was an exhibition game that I could have gotten an opportunity to play in, but I would have lost year of eligibility if I played in it. So
Yeah.
I ultimately decided that it wasn't worth it.
Is it common for a lot of men's players, do you think? Like redshirting and stuff? I feel like on the women's side it's not as common, but a little bit.
I feel like it is.
You
For
think?
goalies?
Really?
Yeah.
I only know like 2 people that have done it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think it just depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Like, obviously I could have gone back to junior for one more year, but I felt like getting in here and getting my feet wet and just putting in like a foundation to work and kind of working my way up would be the best fit for me. And I'm definitely happy I made that decision.
Do you feel like that was like really helpful in your development?
Yeah, I think as a player and a person, I mean,
Yeah.
you obviously can know the situation coming in that you're probably not gonna play.
Yeah.
But you never know how it's gonna affect you until you get here. And there's definitely ups and downs and highs and lows, but I think through that stuff is when you mature the most.
Yeah.
So,
Were
yeah.
you in like communication with coaches like during your redshirt year and
Oh yeah,
continuing
for
to
sure.
talk to them about
Yeah,
that?
they're always super supportive, and kind of motivating, and keep doing what you're doing. Like we love what we see, and then you just got to kind of build off that and take it day by day. And you got to find something every day. I think for me it was figuring out how to build and maintain confidence because, as you guys know, when you're building confidence, it's usually from your in-game touches,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
making plays.
Yeah.
So when you're not doing that, it can be easy to kind of lose that confidence in yourself or that self-belief. So it's just working hard and trusting that and building confidence a whole other way.
Do you think it made you had like a deeper appreciation for practices? That's kind of how I felt when like I didn't play as much.
Yeah, or like I know when you get hurt, you never realize how bad being hurt is until you get hurt. Like you're like, you almost like want a week off sometimes.
Yeah,
You want to get hurt, but then you get hurt, you're like, I literally do anything to be out there.
Yeah.
On the ice with the guys right now.
More fun.
Yeah.
That's good. Were the goalies that were with you at the time, were they helpful in that too? Like I'm assuming they had probably been in a similar situation.
Yeah. I mean, Jax was here. And
right.
His last year was pretty much the first year he got a lot of playing opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went through a lot of tough times growing up, and he actually started on the ACHA team. And so for him to kind of start there and then work his way up and then become what he became, he was like super impressive. He was some guy I could always talk to about this stuff.
Yeah. I feel like that gives, like, having that experience is helpful for just, like, helping your other teammates that are going through that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand if you've never been in that situation.
Yeah.
And it's like easier when you're in that position. You have more respect for the people that have been.
Oh, for
like
sure.
if a goalie came in and like started playing right away, I'd be like, well, like you don't really get it, you know, because you haven't been in that position. But having people that have worked their way through it, it's a lot nicer to have.
Yeah, like it would have been easy for him just to kind of say, "Oh, you're the third goalie. Like, don't really want anything to do with you. Like, you can go on the net when I'm done." But it was never like that. Like, I think we pushed each other like crazy. We support each other, and I'm super thankful to gone to play with him.
Yeah.
That's good. So going into this year, did you have any expectations?
Yeah. Obviously, I had a tough bounce to start, getting hurt in the summer and coming back for the first 2 or 3 weeks of camp, and then spraining my ankle right before the season started. So that was tough. So obviously, I didn't know what this year held. It's definitely been a battle the whole year between the three of us, just working every day. So, yeah.
And then you got your first start this year, which is super exciting, and
Yeah.
you did a really good job.
So good.
How did you feel when you first found out that you were going to be playing?
It was probably the most exhilarating I've ever felt just for starting a hockey game. I think he told me I tried to keep my cool when I was in the room, but I got out in the room and I was like the only guy at the rink, so I was pretty fired up. Yeah, I was excited. Yeah, I probably couldn't knock the smile off my face.
Oh, that's cute.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
How did you, like, were you scared? Like, you hadn't played a game in over a year?
No?
No. I think I'd been through so many kind of ups and downs and working hard, waiting for an opportunity, and I felt like at that point it was the most confident I'd felt about my game since being here, and I was just like I just felt ready.
Like prepared.
Just
And I think
dialed.
a lot of people thought I was super nervous, but like when I went back and watched the game and how I felt, I think I was just so amped up to play
Yeah.
that I would maybe came across as kind of busy or nervous, but I think I was just super excited, and it felt like any other game day once I got going.
That's really cool. What about like during the game? Emotions high, low?
First period, I was pretty amped up. I was probably a little over aggressive, but they didn't have too many opportunities in the first period, so it was pretty good for me to be able to settle in.
Yeah.
And just kind of like, okay, like I've done this before, like slow it down a bit. And then I think by halfway through the second period into the third, like I just felt calm.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes once you get your feet under you a little bit.
Definitely.
And then you guys went into overtime and a shootout.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy for your first start to go all the way into a shootout.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
How was that?
Good. I think you trust your body of work. When you get to that point of a game, you feel confident about how you've played. So
Do you guys do shootouts like before game days?
Yeah, every Thursday at the end of practice, the day before, we do a shootout.
Are you good at shootouts?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm bad at shootouts. Some days better than others. You know,
that's
shootouts
true.
can be tricky, so.
Unfortunately, his team couldn't score that game.
Yeah. Well, we had a horrible ending to that story, but super exciting for you.
No, it was a great ending. He played amazing.
Yeah, was your team like super excited for you too?
Yeah, I think obviously, like I said, the coaches support, like the guys supported me just as much, if not more.
Yeah.
And they know how tough. Not everybody like knows how you feel in that situation, but they can see how tough it is to be in that situation, just showing up every day and working and not really playing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as soon as he announced that I was playing, it was overwhelming support for everyone, and that gives you more confidence too when you know the guys are going to go out there and they're going to like fight for you and they're going to work hard and everybody supports you, and like, it's a great feeling.
That's super exciting. What about coaches? Did you talk to them after the game?
Briefly, yeah. I obviously went over video with our goalie coach, Birdie.
Do you like your goalie coach?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Super supportive as well, and he knows his stuff.
Good stuff.
Do we move on to questions?
Yeah, we totally can.
How do you describe your goaltending?
I'd say my athleticism, my compete level is probably the biggest thing in my game. I mean, I might not always be the most technically sound or like whatever, but I think I compete and I fight and I make saves that maybe other guys won't.
Yeah. He stops the puck.
And I think puck playing is a big thing for me as well. I like to be super active playing the puck. I know, like whenever I play, people call it makes me so nervous, but it's like it's just part of my game. It's a lot of fun. So
maybe I should take some notes.
Played a lot of shinny growing up playing player, so I think that's where I got like having.
Is that what I need to do over the summer?
Yeah, over the winter. You go join the kids and play pond hockey.
Yeah. Okay, will do. Hockey idol. Avery Myers.
Probably Jordan Binnington in that 2018-2019 year. He'd come off a lot of adversity. He talks about it in his podcast with Spin Chicklets and how it felt like it got kind of stale there, and he just kept working, and he knew his worth. And then he got one chance, and then he went on an insane run and led the team to a cup after playing in the Coast year before and then the A. So, probably him.
Love that for him.
Speaking of, you have also faced a lot of adversity. How do you overcome it?
I think it's just focusing. It sounds super cliche on what you can control. Like, it can be easy to let your frustration build up. But you ultimately know that even if the situation's not where you want it to be now, you're putting in the work because it's going to prepare you for when the situation does turn in your favor. And I think that's what happened with my first start. It was like I could have been negative and frustrated and said, screw this. But I just tried to stick with it. And then I felt like it prepared me really well for that first game.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to aspiring young hockey players?
I would say just never lose your love for the game. I mean, it can get super political. It can get super frustrating. It can be really tough on you. But, like, you got to remember you're playing the game because you love it. Yeah. And you got to play because you enjoy, and you got to work hard because you enjoy it and you want to succeed. So just don't ever lose the love for the game.
Good answer.
I like that.
What are some key aspects of your training regimen that are crucial for maintaining peak performance as a goalie?
Wow, that's a loaded question. I think just a lot of little recovery stuff, whether it's rolling out. I do work with this lady back home, so we actually do sort of workouts over FaceTime, and it's all based on like functional movement mechanics. And so I think that's huge because you can get pretty beat up and tight and sore during the year, and then your body gets sort of out of line, crooked. So it's kind of bringing that all back to center and getting your movement solid, a lot of that stuff.
It's key. I'm going to also add on to this question, but what is the most memorable save you've ever made and what made it stand out to you? And then off of that, what is the most memorable goal you've let in?
Most memorable save I've ever made. I'm going to say, honestly, I'm probably going to say the breakaway with like 13 minutes left against Omaha.
Yeah.
I think that was the first really big scoring chance I got. And I think just kind of after all the adversity you face and all the ups and downs, when you like make a save like that and the crowd's really loud and guys are banging their sticks on the bench, it was just like that feeling that like you kind of dream of as a kid wanting to play college hockey. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. What about goal?
Most memorable goal.
Like, do you have any like really embarrassing ones?
Oh yeah, for sure. I can think of one. In my U18 year, my midget year, the year that we went to the tournament, we in the regular season, my goalie partner got hurt, so I'd played like 20 games in a row, and I was just so tired. And we were up like 5-1 on this team in the third period, and it was a Sunday game. We'd already played like 3 games that week. I was just exhausted, and the really low ceilings in this rink with like the cross light beams. And the kid stepped over the red line and just kind of flicked one right up into the light from like the neutral zone face-off dot. And I like looked up into the lights and I thought it was coming at me like this, but it was coming at me more like this. And then I just pulled my glove and just completely missed it. And then I think the other team called a timeout. And I went to the bench. I just knew my coach was going to give it to me. And he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I just looked at it. I was like, I couldn't see it and just skated back to the net.
It's just blind there, Coach.
I mean, obviously a little embarrassing, but we were up 5-1, less than 10 minutes left in the third period. So
we all have
it wasn't
those.
the end of the world.
The muffins, they're the hardest.
Yeah, that actually happened to me this year, so.
It did.
We won't get into it.
What are the most important qualities for a successful goalie to possess?
I think it's all mental. It's just being able to like water off a duck's back. Like you just got to be able to refocus and focus on the next play. And then I think it's just also that competitive edge, I think, is huge for me. Because I think to be successful, the game gets so fast, you just have to be able to compete.
Yeah. Is there things that you do to, like, work on your mental aspect of the game? Because obviously it changes, but, like, how do you, like, learn from it?
This is going to sound kind of funny, but in my bantam year, so I was probably like 14 years old, I kind of just started, whenever thoughts would creep in during a game, like, sometimes the game your mind could kind of wander. You might have a song stuck in your head or whatever. I just started telling myself, like, next shot's mine. Next shot's mine. And then that would be, like, my mental reset. I would just say, next shot's mine. If, like, something creeped in or my mind got away from the game, I'd just say, next shot's mine. And then that's stuck with me to this day. I just can't get rid of it. It's kind of just ingrained in my head, yeah.
How do you handle setbacks or difficult moments during a game, and how do you bounce back from them?
I think I'm just going to give the same answer I gave for the last one. It's that next shot's mine mentality. You can't control what already happened. Yeah. So you just got to stay dialed in and focus on the next shot.
Pre-game routine or superstitions?
Yeah, I guess my routine actually changed now, kind of coming into college than it was in junior. The time's a little different, and then obviously I would do my own warm-up completely in junior. And now I do warm-up with the team. But my routine now would be, superstitions, I always put everything, like, left on first, like left sock on first, left shoe on first. So you are
superstitious?
I feel like
I think that's more habit than superstition, if anything. But, yeah, I definitely won't put my right shoe on before my left shoe.
So superstitious.
And then I kind of start a little, like, foot warm-up. I like to get, like, lacrosse ball, get my feet loose. And then I throw my headphones on, just kind of sit and chill for a bit. And then our trainer always, like, aligns my hips before, sometimes get a little off. And then I hop on the bike for 5 minutes, increase tempo, decrease tempo, just to kind of get the blood flowing. And then I have a little kind of warm-up routine that I do before throwing a ball. And I like to sit on the bench and do a little eye warm-up.
The most?
Yeah.
When do you get there? Do you have time for all this?
You get there 4 hours before?
2 hours and 45 minutes before.
He actually spends the night at the rink, wakes up.
And you have to fit sewer ball in, too. Yeah, you can't forget
there. Are you good?
I don't know.
Yeah, I like to think I'm a good sewer player, yeah.
Okay, you think?
Some people might think I'm a little frantic, but I just like to kind of...
Like Avery kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Pre-game meal.
The pregame meal they give us, so it's usually chicken and
rice.
What about the night before? Whatever.
In juniors, I live at home, so my mom would usually make, like, a steak and some salad.
Okay.
But the night before, if it's Saturday, then we get kind of salmon and rice on Friday night after the game. And if not, then we usually go out for dinner the night before. I like to get salmon or steak
Nice.
Usually not too picky about the day before.
Is it hard having the best style out of all the goalies on the team, and how do you stay on top?
It's a crazy question. I do like to have good gear style. I think some people might not be a fan of all black pads or the growling face on my helmet, but
each their own.
I don't know. I like it. Switch it up a little bit, be a little different.
Most memorable moment of your hockey career so far?
Winning TELUS Cup in 2019.
Okay.
Double overtime. We were definitely the big underdog in that game. Probably the most exhilarating feeling I've ever had playing the game. It was pretty awesome.
What areas in your game do you excel at, and what are you still working on?
My best asset is probably my competitive edge and my athleticism. And then what I want to work on is probably just my footwork, staying more controlled, staying with the tempo of the game, being able to, like, turn and move and keep your posture and stuff and stay big in the net.
I like it.
What is the most important lesson you've learned from playing hockey?
I think it's like it can be a tough game. You can face a lot of adversity, and you just gotta. It's just sticking with it and just working harder because you know that down the road it's gonna pay off. I think it's the biggest thing. Just, like, continually showing up and doing your best every day and doing all the little things that help you be successful.
Have you been to any of the women's games, and what do you think of the quality of play?
I did. I watched you guys go to shootout with the Gophers earlier this year.
Let's go! We got fans.
So that was a pretty high shot game, high shot volume, so it was tight. It was pretty exciting.
Okay. You should have brought the rest of your team, I think, some of them.
There were some guys there. Fortunately, Jojo wasn't in that, but Sonny played really well.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year you can make one of Jojo's games.
Yeah, let's hope. Actually, no. You guys don't need to come. I don't like when people watch me play. So, Who is the best bromance on the team?
The best bromance?
Yeah.
Probably like Kubka and Okabe. I think they're both fifth years. They've been kind of together for a long time. Those guys are pretty close.
They're boys.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about St. Cloud?
It's a lot of things. I think just our team culture, how close everybody is. I mean, a lot of programs preach that like family brotherhood aspect, but I think not a lot actually execute it. And I think that was one thing like I felt when I came and visited here. You could just kind of feel it right from the start.
10 breakaways. How many is Avery scoring on you?
I don't know. I said, like, it can be tough sometimes. If she comes in and flubs one, then it might catch me off guard. But
It's likely with the way the hand
I'm
is
going to have to
looking.
say 0. I'm going to have to hold up my confidence and say 0.
That's
We'll put
crazy.
that to the test.
0? Do you know how good I am?
Because now if she gets 1, now you're going to look
That's
bad.
crazy, yeah.
Exactly. I got to hold up my hand.
Okay, stay tuned because we're doing this.
We're doing this segment. Yeah.
Is Ingy going to be there too?
Yeah, we have to do
Ingy
the
He
Yeah,
Ingy
has to
segment.
go
Yeah.
on Jojo, but
How many breakaways is Ingy going to score on me?
I'm not sure, actually.
Is he really good
Obviously.
at them?
Ingy's pretty good at shootouts,
Okay.
he's got it.
All right.
But Jojo is also pretty good at
But I'm
shootouts,
even
so
better at shootouts, so we'll see.
We'll see. Who's your best friend on the team?
I wouldn't say I have one best friend on the team. I say I'm pretty close to a lot of guys. Me and Chino, Mason Reiner, spend a lot of time together being roommates. So
Yes.
We're always kind of making meals together and what have you. So I probably spend the most time with him.
Nice.
Shout out Mason.
Yeah.
Shout out
He's
Mason.
actually our next guest, I think.
Yeah, I heard he was coming on the podcast. That's
See you
weird.
soon, Mason.
See you soon. Who is your favorite women's player? Answer carefully.
Answer
My
carefully.
favorite women's player. I like the way Gentry plays.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a good one. We do too. We love Gentry on the show. We're
love
big Gentry fans. Yeah.
Any regrets?
Regrets? No, never.
None. He's got none. What do you want people to remember you for?
I think work ethic. Just if people know you show up every day and worked, it's kind of like you did everything you can.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the highest praise. People respect your ability to show up and work every day. So I'm being a good guy, supportive, and hardworking. Yeah.
Is there anything off of that like that you wish that people understood more about you?
I'm not sure. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Not really. I don't think.
You put it all out there. It's
Yeah.
an open book.
Open book.
Yeah. Good
Okay.
stuff.
I think that's all we have. Jimmy, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
This was lovely, Jimmy. It was great having you on.
It was great. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you next time on Dump and Change.